close up. Oh yeah, look at the studio. I think we get a lot better lighting in here.
Artificial lighting.
Yeah.
We're getting
So we've had the regular Maker's Mark.
Yes.
Trying the Maker's
Delicious.
Mark 101 today. I've got a little story time. Maker's Mark has usually got some somewhat interesting stories, at least. I think they're interesting. But I think more people appreciate the stories than the tasting notes. So I'm not done doing the tasting notes. They're gonna still have to sit through those. But
You got to sit through them.
I'll try to get a story time for each video. So
I'm a huge fan of the Danny story time.
So this is a quick shout out to Doug1413 in our YouTube comments. We asked for requests, and he's one of the only people who actually requested something. So we
Shout out to Doug.
We tried to help you out there, Doug. And then I was just doing some research, and someone on Reddit named Prelude SH. I took some of the stuff that he had written down, some notes. I mean, I take notes from a lot of different places, but I don't want to like steal something and then have not accredit that. So,
Sure.
A little review on our plain Maker's Mark, created by Bill Samuel Sr., and a lot of things like the label and the wax can be attributed to his wife Marjorie. Generally available 86 to 90 proof throughout its run since they've started making it. And last time we said it's a great starter whiskey. It's 70% corn, 16% red winter wheat, and 14% malted barley. This Maker's Mark 101 is the same whiskey, and we'll get onto that in a minute. It's the same, but bottled at a different proof. And Maker's Mark, when they kind of led the charge in the resurgence of bourbon over vodka, gin, things like that, the clear liquors. They marketed themselves as the expensive and premium brand. I think the tagline was something like, it tastes expensive because it is. So, I always appreciate that. So Maker's Mark 101 for years was just a bit of a secret treasure that Bill Samuel Sr. was keeping for himself, very close friends, special events. It's just a higher proof, and that's kind of how he preferred it. Now, that is what the company says, but there's also Wild Turkey 101, which has been very successful for a lot of years. And so you got to kind of take all the stories in, because everyone kind of lies about their brand to get that history out there.
Embellish.
Yes, embellish. That's a good word for it. But so some people think it might be a shot at that Wild Turkey 101 crowd. But again, it's kind of, no one really knows the real truth. So for a very long time, the only way to get it was from Bill Samuel Sr. if you were a close friend or some sort of Maker's Mark special event. In 2018, they started to bottle it and distribute it only for travel retail. So that would be like duty-free shops in like airports and things like that. A lot of bourbon brands do like exclusives to travel places. So like Blanton's, I think it's Blanton's Gold is only available in airports or in Japan. So they like to limit stuff like that. Maybe I'll do some more research into that if we ever get a hold of one of those bottles that is currently like that. Because I'm not sure why they do that, to be honest.
You could always ship us a bottle if you're watching this and you have something really rad. You could always ship it to us, and then we'll try it, and Danny will do a little story time with it.
Yeah, I would love that.
So would I.
So in 2020, they made the Maker's Mark 101 readily available for retail, and I think that has something to do with COVID. Not many people traveling.
Gotcha. Well, it makes sense.
Right. They're
Especially
not
if they
going
had a
through
lot
the
of it.
airports, and it might have just been stacking up, and they had it, and they were just like, you know what, let's just push it out. Or that could have been the original goal, but it's kind of suspicious that it was right in that time area. Maker's Mark 101 is often kind of overshadowed by its stronger brother at the Maker's Mark cask strength. Usually, a lot of people will start with a lower proof bourbon and then jump right up to those cask strengths. I know I did, but those are pushing 120 proof, which is tough. That's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's something you got to get used to. Yeah, it's very hot. But I think this is still very, very good. And it's an interesting relationship it has with the cask strength. So in 1962, the federal government changed the legal distinction of bourbon so that they could increase the proof that it goes into the barrel from 110 to up to 125. So the big difference there is, and their thought with the 101 is they never stepped up their entry barrel proof. And it's thought, they kind of claim that the lower entry proof tends to preserve the sweeter flavors, and technically then it's more water and less alcohol going into the barrel, and the water brings out and dissolves more of the wood sugars. So a lot of, if you ever see cask strengths of Maker's Mark, it only goes up to, I think it's 100 and, I had it written down somewhere, 109, something like that, which is interesting. Like I said, if you see other cask strengths, they're usually like 120.
They're up there.
Yeah. And that's all I've got for story time. Now I've got a little bit of a different way of tasting today. I've poured the bourbon into 2 Glencairns. We've got regular Maker's Mark and the 101, and I want to see if you can tell the difference.
Ugh.
So there's a little dot on the bottom of one you can see, and there's not one on the other.
So you know which one.
I do know, and I think you'll be able to figure it out. You might even be able to figure it out just by smelling. Now remember, it's the same bourbon. There's just going to be more flavor, stronger flavors, stronger aromas that you start to get in this, but then you will get more of in this.
I like this game.
So in both, you kind of get that vanilla, the cherries that Maker's Mark is kind of known for. That might have something to do with the wax. It kind of, the red wax makes you think of cherries, and anything. I mean, you're very suggestible when you're doing this sort of stuff. Yeah, you should be able to tell on the side of the glass.
Playing games with my mind with that dot, but I'm thinking this is the 101. They're probably both 101.
That would have been a great idea. Maybe next time.
Oh, this is the 101.
It's definitely the 101. It's hotter, isn't it?
But in the smelling of them initially, there's definitely a lot more. They could pull out more of the characteristics. You know, all the flavors are really coming out better in the 101.
Everything's a little more obvious.
Yeah,
and everything's stronger, and it's a fuller, even smell and taste. So I found with the 101, there is something that's added, and I get a lot of orange in the nose, on the tongue, and in the finish. Kind of like smelling orange peel on it. Then when you taste it, you get kind of like a candied orange flavor. And then as it finishes and you stop drinking it, it kind of pulls out into just like, you can almost smell the orange on your breath, like you've eaten an orange or peeled an orange. But there's things, I mean, there's the cloves, the vanilla extract, and the nose. Those are just richer than the standard Maker's Mark.
You were right, though. You texted me a picture of this last night because, of course, you had to get into the bottle before
I got to do my homework. Professional development.
You said I'd love this. This is very good. I do love it. It's very good. Good job.
I think that if someone has tried Maker's Mark and it just didn't grab them, I'd say it's at least worth trying the 101. And the cask strength would be even more so. The flavors would come out more as long as you can hold up to that proof. Just because this is quite thin now that I've had this, and I'm sure the same comes from cask strength, and that's kind of the trouble you get into when you're get into the higher proofs. You can find the low proofs quite thin, but I still like this one. Let's see. Oh, on the palate, I wanted to say, like with the standard Maker's Mark, you get like the vanilla, the chocolate, cherry, a little bit of tobacco. But in the 101, it kind of all comes together, and I almost get like sticky toffee pudding. Rather than just one flavor, they all kind of come together and make those connections between them. So I thought that was cool too. And I know you've, in the past, not been a huge fan of that Kentucky Hug, but I feel like this one is like, it's a really nice, it's not a huge burn.
It's not a huge burn.
It lingers a little bit, and it leaves those flavors. It's not thin.
Very good.
Very, very good. I've got one more thing, a little bit of a surprise. I'll leave you to enjoy while I get something ready for you. Might take 30.
I have a surprise for you too,
This
Danny.
is perfect. To celebrate the return of Bottle Buddies. Oh.
Daydreaming.
Yes.
Daydreaming and Bottle Buds. Bottle Buds will be back soon, but Dylan is still out for another week or so because of work obligations. So we're just going to jam a bunch of daydreaming down your throat. And
It's fine with me.
yeah, fine with me. You know, I've been fasting, and this is
Yeah, this high proof will go right to your head.
right to my kidneys right now.
Well, that too. The thing is, I'm not going to let you
Delightful.
waste any of this either. That's the problem.
I watched a video the other day about Maker's Mark and the whole bottle wax.
Yeah.
Have you seen that before?
I've
Where
seen
the wax
some videos
comes
that-
all the way down over the,
Oh, I hadn't seen that before.
and it's like super rare. And there's all kinds of like, what do they do it? Like do they do it every 10 bottles, every 100th bottle, every 1,000 bottles? Is it
I
on
actually haven't
purpose?
heard of
Is it
that.
on accident?
The videos
It's-
that I've
It's
seen
pretty neat.
are like they highlight the differences in the dipping. So some people, because they're hand dipped,
Yeah.
some people they just have different techniques. So it's a little interesting that way. Sorry, I've picked
We have a kitchen in the new studio. That's where Danny is right now. He's one of these days we'll turn the camera and show you, but not today. Still under construction.
I had to bite the cap off of this lime juice because, yeah, I picked the worst little lime juice to bring. So while I'm making this, I guess I could tell you, this is the Kentucky Mule that we talked about, that I kind of highlighted, and then never made.
Never
As
made.
avid watchers will remember, that video never got made by me at home. This is a Kentucky Mule. It is Maker's Mark. It is lime juice, simple syrup, mint leaves, and some cucumber.
This is like being at the Derby, dude.
Yeah. We got what? The Ironfish Derby coming up soon, as well as the Kentucky Derby and stuff like that. So I thought it would be a good time to give it a try. And I got my nice cups
Ooh,
too.
cucumbers, everything. Cheers.
It was pretty good.
That's dangerous.
That's very good.
I could get in trouble drinking these.
I might cut out this. Actually, I can read the recipe in case anyone wants to recreate it. I might cut out some of that simple syrup. It's a little sweet. I'd like maybe a little more bourbon. But it's 2 parts Maker's Mark, and we use the 101 today. 1 part lime juice, 3/4 part simple syrup, 5 to 6 mint leaves, and 5 thin slices of cucumber. So
Very nice.
not too bad.
Would you like to try your treat?
I'm not sure. We've been talking about Malort a lot, and
It's not Malort.
It's not a Malort
It's
cocktail.
not
Okay.
Malort. Do you remember that TikTok I sent you of the gal that made the gummy bears with the screwball whiskey?
Yeah, I do remember that.
So I did it. This is just for show. The screwball. I got you a fork.
I'm a little concerned that I need a fork.
So
And you can't participate because you're fasting.
I tried them. Full disclosure. Look at that. That thing is full of gummy bears, and I filled it to the top with the screwball peanut butter whiskey.
Has it all just become one solid mass?
No, it's not.
Okay.
There's still a
Okay.
tiniest bit of whiskey still in there. Now, I did try this. I have my own opinion, and I'll give you mine after you try it.
All right.
If I can get it off. Tell the people at home what color you're eating first.
Oh, God, it's gross.
I made the same face. I literally made the same face pulling this gummy bear.
It looks
you're
like
gonna go
the
for
whites.
2.
Well, they're kind of stuck together. They're conjoined.
And the answer?
I don't like it, but some people would love that.
I thought it tasted like shit.
But it tastes like things that are. It tastes like a Tootsie Roll, I think.
Wow. I can't even explain.
It didn't make me gag like I thought it would. I've soaked gummy bears and things before, and they get that slimy, expanded grossness to them. But I'd take that over like a vodka-soaked gummy worm or something for sure.
You're only good with one serving?
Well, I had 2, so ball's in your court now.
Oh my gosh! Well, I might save those and let Zach
them
and
age
Dylan try
to
it.
perfection.
Well, they've been in there for 5 days.
I'm gonna wash that out of my mouth now.
Thanks for watching this episode.
Thanks,
Thanks
guys.
for having cheers.